Well, welcome to Wednesday. Party people in the house.
Just the party people? Oh, that's all the people. Okay.
All the people are the party people if you're listening to the Curt and Jen podcast.
Nicely done. Yeah, hello, and welcome, and thanks for being here and joining us every other weekday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we bring you this out of the kindness of our hearts and the foolishness of our brains. I think that's, please like, follow, and or subscribe. We would love you for that. And for today, Leon Day, right?
I've never heard of this. Have you heard of Leon Day before?
I have not heard of Leon Day before.
Okay, so here's the deal. Today is National Leon Day, which is Noel spelled backwards. National Leon Day. It marks the day crafters begin planning their homemade gifts and decorations for the holiday season. It can also be a day for those who miss the winter holidays to have a mini winter celebration in June. Here's why. It marks halfway to Christmas. Exactly today.
I'm surprised that you didn't know about this prior to now.
I am too. But now I do, and now you do too, and we are all better for it, and you are welcome.
And enjoy your Leon Day.
This is why you listen to the podcast.
What's that?
I said, this is one of the many reasons you listen to the podcast. You learn new things.
Things like that?
Yeah.
Like, also, we have a perfect drink for you for the heat wave that a lot of the country is feeling, and something, this might be a new term, screen divorce.
I don't even know what that is, so I'm excited to learn that. 4 things you shouldn't keep by your bed. This is the feng shui experts telling us this. And things that you wish they taught you in high school.
Also, we have what doctors don't recommend about doctoring, and why, I don't know if I want to hear about this one, why nightmares can kill you.
Yeah.
All of that and more, yeah.
Curt, you went to trivia last night.
We did. Our little trivia team, Whiskey Business, although it was a very small part of Whiskey Business.
At Sean O'Donnell's.
Back in there, Jen.
I would have, but
I'm just the cheerleader. We needed it last night. We didn't even make the top 10. So
you didn't?
Actually, we probably came in. It was a weird night for trivia at Sean O'Donnell's. There was like 5 people tied for 3rd place and 3 people tied for 2nd. So it was a whole bunch of people all bunched up there together. So I think that we were like 4th or 5th with a bunch of other people too. So it was a letdown. I know you had high hopes for us, and we're like, we
always have high hopes for you.
There are definitely some questions that you would have got that we missed.
Like,
of course, of course they're all escaping me now.
All right.
So what about you? What did you have for last night?
We worked on the remodel. I had to do some work, and we tried to sell a boat, but this guy, nope.
You tried to sell a boat?
Well, because Pat still has his old 1983 boat that is in great condition, by the way. It's this bass fishing boat.
All right.
It's amazing. He's taken like such good care of it. He is anal about boats. Well, he's anal about keeping everything in as good of condition as he can.
Right.
But yeah, this guy was like picking it apart, and Pat's finally like, it's a 1983 boat.
Right.
So you're not going to get any boat in pristine condition for the price point that you're looking at.
Right. The engine's solid, if
everything is totally solid. Yeah. You could hit the water running right now with that boat. You don't have to do anything to it. But it's in a 1983 boat. It's called the Heat Seeker, for God's sakes. Anyway, we can move along.
Well, I was going to say, that I'm selling my boat too. And it's a little different situation, but the potential buyer took it in to have it looked at by a mechanic, and he's like, I want to know all the things that need to be done. They came up with $12,000 worth of things that need to be done, but that's not need to be done. It's like, well, you might want to think about this someday. And here's this thing.
All someday stuff. And that's part of being a boat owner.
Exactly. That's the exciting part. You get to spend all that money. Let's
move along.
Okay. We move along.
Of this story, there's this, I think she's a YouTuber. She's a social media influencer person, Kenny Carpenter. She recently turned 30 years old, and her friend, one of her best friends, made sure it was a birthday to remember with 30 thoughtful gifts in the days leading up to her big day. So some of them were playful and lighthearted, like sneaking into her house with a spare key she'd been given to decorate the living room with balloons, streamers, and a birthday sign while she was out to dinner. But one of the final surprises, ended up being a very emotional gift for her because there was a bag filled with Carpenter's, Kinney's favorite things,
Hmm.
including a bag of chips. But this bag of chips, she realized as she was going through the stuff, had already been opened. Like it was literally sealed with a chip clip.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, what the hell? So she said, why is there a chip clip here? Did you get hungry before, you put this in?
Right,
I
right.
totally
Munched down on
understand.
some of
This
my
is her,
gift.
yeah, this is her best friend. She's like, if you needed a snack, great. Thanks for including some of my favorite chips. But when she opened the bag, one of her most favorite things, which is also my favorite things, is all of them were the folded chips.
What's the folded chips?
What? The ones that are like extra crunchy because they're like folded over. They're not just like the full potato chip. They're like folded, right? And then
Oh, the chips
like,
themselves are folded over?
yes, she went through, she must have bought like, I don't know how many bags of chips and picked out only the folded ones and put them in this bag and gave it to her as part of her birthday gift for her favorite things.
I see. I thought the folded chips were the one like you go out and you buy folded chips. You're saying you get a bag of potato chips and a few some of them are folded over on top of themselves.
Yeah, and there should be. I don't know. I feel like maybe someone did that at one point where someone should sell all folded chips. I mean, it would have to be at a premium because that would be, I imagine, hard.
Right.
But they could
Hey,
make a
some
robot
people
for that.
probably say that that's those are the very best. They we would say that they don't taste any different at all.
Many people, what? Yes, they do. They
They're
taste different.
they're extra chippy.
Yes,
I
Kurt.
love that. It's a great story too.
It just means his best friend's fingers were all over every chip,
Ew. They wash
right?
their hands first.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk feng shui.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. This is
This is
four things you
feng
should.
shui experts said things that you should not keep by your bed, close to your bed. And this is not necessarily because, they say, well, don't put your phone next to your bed. That way you won't spend as much time on screens at night or whatever. Not like that. Feng shui, and this is an expert on TikTok. What do we have that we're not supposed to put next to our bed, Jen?
Sharp metal objects, things like scissors and nail clippers. He says the sharp metal easily pierces your energy shield and the effects are not good.
I don't know if I want to have my energy shield punctured or anything.
Well, you don't. So that's why he said don't put scissors and nail clippers by your bed. The
Good
next
thinking.
the next thing is a trash can. Trash holds murky energy, even if it's just crumpled up paper. He says breathing in that energy can negatively affect your health.
What about it says here, don't leave medications or medical records next to your bed. Having them there, even in a drawer, allegedly affects your mood and mental state. I didn't say allegedly. The story says allegedly, just so you know. I'm not poo-pooing this.
The final thing is fresh flowers, but only if you're in a relationship. If you're single, it's fine. If you're married, it invites third party involvement. So if you keep fresh flowers by your bed and they cheat, I guess that's on you. That's rude.
I don't think it's on you, but you'd
Uh,
think that flowers by your bed would be a good thing no matter what, but
they're saying, no, it's not. The feng shui peeps. I need to go feng shui my bedroom.
I don't think that you do, but you do you, right?
You. That's right. Oh, this is funny.
I never even thought about this one, Jen.
I hadn't either until I read it. And then I was like, oh, these are good. Someone asked on Ask Reddit,
Okay.
they asked non Americans what people in other countries say instead of one Mississippi, two Mississippi when they're counting to 10, right?
Okay, so that's supposed to represent 1 second, one Mississippi, two, that
Right.
type of thing. And so we use Mississippi in America. So somebody said, what do you use when you're counting in other countries?
Well, in Danish, they say we have one case of beer, two cases of beer, and someone's like, so do kids use that when they're playing hide and seek?
Scotland uses elephant, one elephant, two elephant. Quebec, Canada, hippopotamus. You've heard that one, right?
One hippopotamus, two hippopotamus.
Right. Another Canadian said they use the word steamboat.
In China, they have a thing that where they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and so on.
Well, that's kind of like counting off in music. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, da, da. That's good. In Iran, one and a two and a. That sounds like Lawrence Welk. Remember that guy? A
One and
one and
two
a two and a.
and
And he played
yeah.
his accordion.
Go ahead and do Brazil because I can't say this.
Why do you think I can say it?
You
Well, the
just
word it must be in Portuguese. That's what they speak in Brazil. Indiozinho. Dois indiozinhos.
okay. In India, they say
Indiozinhos?
one tick one. No, tick tick one, tick tick two, tick tick three.
In Mexico? Oh, no, but okay. Oh, how about Australia? Uh, one cat and dog, two cat and dog.
But
But then
what
another
else?
Australian said they've never even heard this in their life. So
Right. What else do we have? What are some of the other fun ones, Curt?
someone joked, imagine if Canadians said one Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. Yeah, that's not
Someone
very good.
said
That's
they
a
grew
bad
up in
pun.
Mississippi, and as a child, they just assumed other people used whatever state they lived in.
That makes sense. That's what I would think too.
But one Maine would be so much faster than one North Carolina.
That's right. Yeah, one Utah is not a second there. So
And then the last one, someone in South Africa said it was one Mississippi, but none of us knew what that was. And another added, I used to wonder who Mississippi was.
Mrs. Zippy. Why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah,
Where
not
was
if
that? Oh, in South Africa.
you
All
didn't know
right.
what Mississippi was. Yeah.
Mrs. Zippy. All right.
What is this? I didn't read this.
Screen divorces. Uh, and I hesitate to say that there was like, hey, here's a new term. It's like, well, this has been out for a while now. Now we sound like old people. But they're saying you've already maybe heard of what they talk about sleep divorce. That's when you opt to sleep in different beds or different rooms, maybe because one of you snores or you just sleep better and need that alone time. So that's what they call a sleep divorce. Screen divorce is when you do the same thing, but with streaming. This is from a writer in The Guardian. Screen divorce is when you don't have to agree on what to watch. You both watch whatever you want on separate screens. Well, who doesn't do that?
I don't know if I'm watching TV and Pat's with me. I would want to be with him. Like, let's find something together. It doesn't mean you can't go watch shows separately at other times or when you're, not with each other. But when you're with each other, connection, people. We
I
need it. We need more of it.
I guess when they were saying screens, I thought it meant, your phone or your iPad or something like that. But I think you're right. I think it is.
TV shows.
Yeah. The idea is you avoid the situation when one person has to suffer through a show that they don't actually like. That makes sense. Just like sleep divorce, it's something lots of couples already do, especially now that everyone has three TVs, a couple iPads, and a phone. It just has a name now. Sleep divorce.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I usually I'm rarely so into a program or whatever, into a show that if Dana says I'd like to watch this, I'm going to say, no, I want to watch this one. Of course, 'cause I can also almost always watch it later, you know?
Well, and when you're together, you should be spending time together. I mean, if watching TV is your thing, all right. As long
Hmm.
as you're not still on your phone and you're like maybe cuddling or something. It's just, I've been reading so much about how the whole loneliness factor and the connect and lack of connection. Of course, you're going to have a lack of connection if you keep doing sleep divorces and screen divorces and
Yeah.
spending time together. All right.
So overall, get a better connection
Yeah.
and stop watching TV altogether.
Well, I don't know. Not
I
necessarily.
don't
You're
know.
just like a heat wave
Oh,
burning in my heart.
Curt.
Can't keep from
Heat wave
crying.
going on in a lot of the country. We're
Like
having
big time, like a
yeah.
massive heat wave. Did you see that video on? I mean, if you've been on social media, I don't even think you could avoid it. It's everywhere.
That heat dome.
No, where the I forget where it was, like in Missouri, I think. They had a road literally buckle right before a car went over it and send it like airborne.
Wow.
Like it just you see it buckle. Like there's video of it buckling.
That's the deal that because it is a heat wave in a lot of the I was going to say here it's been pretty nice. We've been enjoying some decent weather in the Pacific Northwest, but yeah, a lot, like you said, a massive part of the country. And so there's a suggestion here. Most of the country, experiencing that heat wave. A doctor in the UK is trending because she said the perfect drink for hot weather is milk or milk,
I
as
don't
some
even
people say.
understand that. It's because it's 87% water, but it takes longer to digest because of the sugar protein and fat, so it keeps you hydrated longer than water does.
Had no idea.
I
Also
didn't.
it has sodium to help your body hold on to the water. So it's packed with electrolytes. And I thought you had to go get Gatorade or something for your electrolytes,
I've
right?
never heard that milk is like that, like does all this.
Well, it goes on to say if you're vegan or you can't drink regular milk, she says, this is the doctor again, says soy milk works as well.
And now you know.
Is that enough on that story? And now you know. I like that. That's funny.
Yep.
All right. Here's another one where I think people were probably giving suggestions. Like of these three, what's your favorite or most trusted?
Because it's
This is
so
about
random. Is that why you say that? Because it's so
Yeah.
random? Yeah. Okay.
It's what it has here is the most trusted brands for different age groups. They've got, Gen Z and millennials and Gen X and boomers all in here. Report on most trusted most trusted brands. And it says here it weighed the reputations of thousands of brands, including restaurants, groceries, household products, services, and entertainment. Then they broke it down. Here's where you might be surprised. For Gen Z, the most trusted brand, and I wouldn't even consider this a brand, but it is YouTube.
It doesn't surprise me for that generation, though.
But then it's followed by Band-Aids, Dawn dish soap, Costco, and Google.
Okay.
If you ask me, most trusted brand, I don't think I would go to Band-Aid. Then again, I'm not Gen Z, right? So millennials, their most trusted brand is Google, followed by PayPal, YouTube, Dawn dish soap, and the USPS, the Postal Service.
Okay.
All right. Gen X, this is where we were firmly in Gen X, you and me, Jen.
Yes.
The most trusted brand is Dawn dish soap, followed by Oral-B, Hershey's, Band-Aid, and Duracell.
This is crazy to me. Why is Dawn dish soap keep popping up here?
I'm telling you, they must have been. I know that they said that they went through hundreds or thousands of things, but they must have been, of these particular brands, because Dawn dish soap is great, but I don't think that that'd be the first. Well, you know what? Here we go. Boomers. Let's see how the boomers do. The most trusted brand is Kleenex, followed by Dawn dish soap.
There it is again.
UPS, Tylenol, and Band-Aid.
That is nuts. So the brand Gen Zers trust the most compared to all other adults is TikTok, followed by Duolingo, Life 360, Twitch, Crocs, and Fenty Beauty.
Go Rihanna, right? Millennials, same thing. The brands they trust most compared to other adults is Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh.
Gen Xers,
Wait,
Campbell's-
hold
what?
on. Do the followed by Red Bull, 5-Hour Energy, Fortnite, and Durex.
That's what the millennials love. That says something about the whole group, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gen X, what I said, Gen X is Campbell's Soup, followed by Speed Stick Deodorant, Banquet Frozen Foods,
Oh my
Sheba
God.
Cat Food. This is bizarre. Let's go with Boomers. The most compared to other adults is Procter and Gamble, who, if they don't still, they used to make Dawn dish soap.
They did?
Oh yeah, that was a P&G product for a long. That's my dad worked there for 30 years before he retired, so we were familiar with their stuff.
That. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you know. Now you know.
Dude, another now you know moment, twice in one show. Love it. Here we go.
What's something you wish they taught you in high school? That's the question we asked.
That was on Monday, and I know where you're going with this. I mean, life lessons and stuff is what we were hoping for. I think things that you were taught in high school. Because what did I say? Oh, learning how to handle rejection, which I think is something that is very difficult for everybody to do. It's like, hey, if you had
especially teenagers.
Yes, if you had a course on that or whatever, that might be good. Did you have one, Jen, that you wanted to add?
I forget. I had something on Monday and now I don't remember. That's how my brain works.
Something that you wish was taught in school. Marilyn said how to stay out of debt. There's a good one. Stephen oddly put math.
Barb said how to negotiate and pay employment contracts.
Wow.
I'm sorry. How to negotiate pay and employment contracts. That's funny.
There you go.
Laurel said maybe a little bit about retirement. Now, this is interesting. There was a debate on our Facebook page between Anne and James because Anne said the importance of staying true to myself. I learned it on my own with new experiences and life lessons. The important thing is I learned it. And James says, that's impossible to teach a teenager. And Anne goes back and says, I don't believe it's impossible.
It's all in how it's taught. There you go.
Yeah.
How about, I guess this is also, James says they should have taught in high school the Dewey Decimal System.
What?
Does anybody remember that at all?
They taught me that.
They taught that. I mean, that was driven a lot. I'm just saying that there was a lot of teaching on that, and now we don't really use it at all, I guess.
Kirsten says babies take more time and care than you think. No kidding.
That's a class name. Can you imagine? Yeah, I just signed up for babies take more time and care than you think.
We'll include puppies in that too for you, Curt.
It's true.
Patrick. Meeting in history of Juneteenth, and Therese said how to survive a boring job. That's a good one.
Connie, the real truth about American history. There's some people saying a lot has been left out and altered a little bit. That's true. Randy, dance moves other than do-si-do and promenade. Or promenade. I guess it's promenade.
Square dancing, yeah. Susie said money stuff. Sylvia said basic car maintenance. And Brad said time management.
Those are the things that we didn't even consider in school. That, like, one day you're going to be interested in time management. Like, no way. Time management. Thank you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I remember what mine is. I've been reading all these self-help books, and it's a lot of that, and just a lot of these books that I'm reading. It's like, why don't they teach us what this does to us, or what if we don't do this, what that does, and blah blah blah. There's a lot of things. There's so many things I wish I would have known earlier in life, but maybe I wouldn't have soaked it in. I probably wasn't ready for it. The universe brought it to me at the right time.
I just like that you threw blah, blah, blah in there at the end. Blah, blah, blah. All right.
What's this all about?
We have an AC/DC story. AC/DC, and this is AC/DC fans, not all of them. They want AC/DC to retire. They're suggesting it's time to hang it up, guys.
Oh my gosh.
It says fans are urging AC/DC to hang it up after footage of them looking pretty old and tired during a recent show went viral. Now, let's just start here by saying the lead singer, Brian Johnson, is 77 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Angus Young, the guitarist that pops around like a schoolboy, is 70. So they're not going to be as spry, perhaps, as they used to be. Apparently, there was some footage, this video somebody took. They were playing the song TNT, and the crowd seems louder than Brian Johnson's voice. I would just say that that's a mic problem. But
Me too.
Here's what the quotes were. Fans said, "This is so painful, they just need to stop." Another commented, "Gotta say, Angus is really putting the load on this tour. They'll always be my favorite band, but I'm sitting out this tour."
Have you seen them before?
That's actually a band that I have not seen that I should have.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Other fans, though, are saying, you know what? They're old. It's an old band. Of course, they're not going to be like the same that they were when they were young. Y'all don't have to say for them to stop doing what they like. Yes.
Yeah, just stay in your lane. Let them do what they do. And if you don't want to see the show, don't go see the show.
I think that's what they were saying was, yeah, it's like, you're going to pay good money for this, you guys.
The end.
They're hobbling around there. Do they still sound good? That's the thing.
Well, I mean, you'd hope.
Sorry.
Songs, Curt, way to go.
That was a family band. It was like the dad and the three kids playing in a basement on that song.
Well, a new physician survey reveals that only 12% of physicians recommend medicine as a career to others. So doctors don't recommend becoming a doctor.
That's over only 12% do, which is just a sad state of affairs overall. They asked, what is the most challenging aspects of medical practice? These doctors were said things like, the biggest answer that they said that they like, I would say, don't go into medicine, or the most challenging thing, misinformation on social media. Thank you very much.
Only 50% of what's on social media even has any truth to it. Keep that in mind.
Right. And some of that, the difference between the misinformation and disinformation. Some people deliberately putting up bad information just for the heck of it, I guess. About 60% said the medical care is too high. 55% drug costs too high. These are doctors again, why they say don't become a doctor. About half said declining patient trust in physicians in the healthcare system. That is frustrating. I'm not going to name names, but these people that have decided whatever, yo, you can't trust the scientists, you can't trust the doctors. Like, you know what? F off. Ooh, is that bad?
No, it's there's just people are the decline in patient trust in physicians in the healthcare system is because of all the other stuff you just listed.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's one more thing on here: the political climate affecting medical decision making. So these doctors are saying it, and maybe they're just saying, hey, you know what, it's just not worth it. That's the hassles are not worth it. And of course, that's always been a very highly respected occupation. Everyone wants their kid to be a
Yeah.
doctor.
But as a patient, and I'll tell you, I am super frustrated. And it's mostly because of the health insurance. The amount of money that I have to pay not having a job is
Right.
stupid. But I don't want to go into that again. This is a joyful podcast.
Yeah.
We will move on.
Well, one of my close friends is a doctor, and he was. I think a lot of it is that that these. I wish I had more information about this, but it could be a little, a small practice that gets bought up by a larger, like a conglomerate or corporation or whatever. Then all of a sudden, he's like, I went from having, my, list of like 400 patients or whatever the case may be, not in a day, but just overall to. He went from, I think, like from 400 to 1,200 patients or something like that they said. And so he's like, I'm out. I'll do my own practice. So.
You can't even get into your primary care physician for months.
Right.
If you want to see them. So then you end up going to urgent care, and then that person doesn't know your history. It's sad state of affairs.
Sad state of affairs.
Let's move on to happier things like how your nightmares can kill you.
This is the happier thing. I like it.
We're a joyful podcast. Let's talk about how your nightmares can kill you.
Can I keep the music going for a while?
No. There's a new study in England that found that people who have a lot of nightmares are more likely to drop dead. Researchers, this is interesting. Researchers tracked people for almost 2 decades, and the ones who had nightmares at least once a week were 3 times more likely to die before the age of 70. They found that having lots of nightmares also makes you age faster. So if it's not going to kill you, it's just going to make you look really old. They think it's because our bodies respond to the stress the same way they would in real life. Nightmares lead to prolonged elevations of cortisol, a stress hormone closely linked to faster cellular aging.
I wasn't laughing at the idea of people. What it says, the line says drop dead. And I'm imagining all these people just, walking along and then that's it, because they had nightmares.
Sometimes that does happen with heart attacks, Curt Cruz.
That's why I had to stop. I used to get such a kick out of startling people at work, and it occurred to me, like Jen would be, leave the studio for a second, and I'd go and hide around a corner and just jump out, blah. Yeah. And it just occurred to me, it's like, I'm going to get sued someday because somebody's going to have a heart attack.
Yes, you are.
Ruining all my fun.
That's right.
It turns out that not everybody likes to have the bejesus scared out of them, I guess. Right. This is fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Now obsolete skills. So once you needed to know this stuff, now obsolete skills that adults born before the 90s won't forget. We won't forget these things because it turns out that Jen and I were both born before the 90s.
Well, right. And this is even though they're no longer needed. I mean, if you're born before the 90s, these are skills that you know and you're not going to forget, even though you don't need them anymore, like programming a VCR.
Mm-hmm. Like, who remembers, by the way, real quick, I'm going to jump in here. Do you also remember that before you returned a VCR, I'm sorry, the VHS tape to the video store, to the Blockbuster, you had to rewind it?
Yeah.
And if you didn't rewind it, you were charged a fee or something?
Be kind, rewind.
That's true. Rewinding cassettes with a pencil, by the way. If you ever got your cassette where the tape got all jammed up, you had to get the pencil and rewind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep going down the list. You handle this list. Go.
35 millimeter camera, how to load a camera. How about driving a stick shift? I still have a stick shift car. Making a pipe out of a Coke can. Oh,
I don't know how to do that. I don't know what they're talking about. Using a Thomas guide, sing lyrics to library card from Arthur. I'm too old for that one.
Yeah, I don't know that one either. Making really neat Winamp skins.
What's that? What's Winamp skins?
Winamp was, I think that was how you used to play sounds on your computer back in the day.
I'm looking it up. You keep going.
Winamp. Making a brown paper bag book covers for school books. Oh yeah, and you could draw on them. Writing a check. I was just asking Danny yesterday. I'm almost out of checks that I've had since probably 2001. It's like, should I get more checks? I'm never going to write a check again. Uh, how about pinning a diaper on a baby without sticking them with a pin?
Do you know? I don't know what that is. That's an image of a Winamp.
Oh, Winamp. It's a EQ. That's the EQ dial. So you can I forgot about that myself, so I didn't know that one. Someone joked I have Jenny's number memorized. Jen, what's Jenny's number?
8675309.
Yep.
That's the one that I thought was the funniest because we will all know that number until we die, right?
Yep. I would say so.
8675309. That was the song I was trying to figure out. Remember, Curt, this before we started the show, I'm like, oh, you should get, there's a song that I wanted you to get. Now I can't remember what it is.
That was the one?
That was the one.
I should have it handy. Sorry, I do not.
It's
bad. Bad little show producer. Do we have time for everything else?
Yeah, Gen Zers use email to avoid conflict and anxiety at work. People say that the younger adults don't like using email at work. They prefer quicker, less formal communication like instant messaging of Slack. Teams or other chat apps, but that's not always the case. According to a new report, 60% of Gen Zers use email to avoid awkward conversations and workplace anxiety. And the number is even higher, 65% among women.
They're saying that the reason for this is they feel maybe it's easier to make a bigger, quote, case or argument in long form email without being interrupted. Email also allows a degree of separation and helps set personal boundaries at work. I think that's the thing, the fact that people probably use their phones now more for texting than actually phone conversations. I don't even know why we call it a phone. My little computer.
The survey also shows that Gen Z would rather get on a phone call than a video call. And they probably don't even want to get on a phone call, which is a lower pressure communication channel. I love me a FaceTime, a video call.
Sure.
Much better.
Well, what gen are we? Oh, we're Gen X again. Okay, it doesn't apply to us. All right. What's this all about, Jen?
Okay, so you know what? When you use, I don't have this happen nearly as often anymore, but when I used to make returns at Amazon, they would oftentimes say, just keep it. You don't have to bring it back.
Well, I suppose if it's not worth it from a money standpoint, they say it's going to cost us X amount to ship it back. Just hold on to it.
That's exactly what this. So a study found that letting us keep our online returns is a win-win situation. So like Walmart, Target, and a lot of other companies do it now, mainly because it's just not worth it, like you said, to pay the return shipping costs, right? But it turns out there's another reason they should keep doing it, because it makes us buy more stuff.
Do tell.
Researchers from the University of Notre Dame found that when we get to keep a return, it makes us see the brand as friendlier, more generous, and more trustworthy. Absolutely. And that means we're going to buy more things from them. It's something the industry insiders call brand warmth. And it makes us more likely to shop with the brand in the future, that particular brand.
I can see that. I can absolutely see that. I've had things happen where you feel like, oh man, they went so above and beyond. I'm going to shop here more.
So even if it works, the first product you got was defective, but if they ask you to prove that it didn't work, that cancels out the positive vibes.
True. I guess what's this other last line? If the product is not defective, they can win you over even more if they say keeping it is the most eco-friendly solution or suggest you donate it to Goodwill. There you go.
I know. I love all of it.
Okay. Oh, here we go. We are to the question of the day part of the show. Why don't we say how this originally was phrased?
Okay, so it's a music question, and Curt Cruz loves him some music.
Yep.
The original question that I had found was, what song instantly ruins the mood at a strip club? I don't know how or where I found it. I don't remember. I keep a list of possible questions of the day on my phone. So whenever I hear or see something, I write it down on my phone. And so Curt's like,
I thought it'd be a broad. I thought there'd be a yes.
To a strip club. He's like,
I thought it would be more. applicable to more people. You just said, hey, what song instantly ruins the mood? You know, maybe you're trying to get everything set up and just right for the night, and all of a sudden, blah comes on the radio, or you're probably not even listening to the radio, your playlist or whatever. So, all right, let us know what song instantly ruins the mood. Do you have one off the top of your head, Jen?
No.
I would say if the song that you shared, the song that was your song with an X,
Oh yeah. But
came
that would
on.
only ruin it for you, right? They probably they wouldn't know that.
That's right. That's just maybe you keep that one to yourself.
Yeah. So
All right, we'll have
what
that for
song
you on
instantly-
Fridays, the next big show. Make sure you're listening in.
What song instantly ruins the mood? That's the end.
That's
of
the
our
end.
Monday podcast.
Indeed. Thank you for
That's
being
the
here with
end.
us. We do appreciate it again. Like, follow, subscribe. We would love that.
And in the meantime, because we have a new episode coming on Friday, but
Mm-hmm.
until then, make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and laugh because it's good for your soul. And happy Leon Day.
See ya.